7,725 pounds, a two-slide Jayco bunkhouse coming in down here at Advantage One RV Brokers. This is where we sell campers on behalf of their owners for Haylett RV, and overall, she looks pretty sharp. It ain't perfect, but it's certainly not a handyman special. This thing's pretty darn positive. And I will forever be a sucker for that classic Jayco honey oak colored cabinetry. It speaks to me in a way that very few other things ever have, although I will also admit I am personally a big time fan of their newer modern farmhouse decor, but that has nothing to do with this. What we're looking at here is something that certainly hasn't been beat up. It's been used, not abused, and this is really, I think, a good example of used, not abused. I don't see anywhere where like any of the cabinetry or anything's too scuffed up. I did find one little spot on the wall in the bunkhouse and one little linoleum cold crack for some weathering that we're going to look at. And you might be wondering, what is going on here? Well, before the big horseshoe U-dinettes were a thing, Jayco was trying to find a way to fit more people around the table. Well, they came up with a telescoping dinette concept, where if you notice the end of the dinette back that's closest to us, it's kind of latched in place. It slides out, and all the seating is basically self-storing. So if you want an extra seat or two around it, you can. Now, on this floor plan, I think it works really, really well because, you know, there's nothing but just a blank wall behind it. So this makes sense to me. This is also an easy up-down, what's called dream dinette with a lot less for, you know, I would put, pardon me, I'd put the little kids kind of against the wall. I would try to sit near the outside where I'd have a no-knee knocker kind of experience. This is a 6'9" interior, which is 3 inches taller than industry standard. Now, Jayflight has been the #1 selling trailer in its class since 2005 and counting. And since then, a lot of other RVs have gone 6'9" tall, but this is way ahead of its time in a lot of ways. We got our central air, central heat, of course, and that taller ceiling, if we open everything up, opens up for a lot of potential cabinetry space. And that dedicated 6'9" floor-to-ceiling pantry beside the refrigerator over there, that is something I think a lot of people will appreciate, as well as those drawers to the floors over there. Those, 4 drawers right below the countertop line. That's handy stuff. That's stuff that a lot of RVs just seem to be missing, and you find it here all the time on your old Jaycos. This is also what's called the G2 series, which is the upgraded Jayflight series for the year. For instance, like it has a power awning, it has an enclosed heated belly. Those were things not found on the standard Jayflight series during the time of this one's construction. Unfortunately, Mother Nature, probably during a couple of the polar vortex winters we had the past 2 years, did get a hold of the linoleum in this spot, in the most common place, right next to a heat vent, where there's, you know, the easiest place for a fracture. And it's a bummer, but it ain't hurting anything. It's solid as a rock down here, so there's no water damage or anything like that. I do want to point out the one little spot I saw on this floor plan. I don't know what it is about this one. I don't know if it's an engineering thing. Every 31B HDS I've ever seen has a little soft spot back here in this corner. I don't know if water was wicking in from the slide out, if it got in here, because this is solid, but there's just a little, just the slightest degree of compromise back there. I don't know exactly what causes it. I've just seen it a few times. As soon as I walked in the camper, I made a beeline straight back there, and it's not bad. It's obviously still pretty solid sounding when you know, knockety knock on it, but it's there. You deserve to know about it. But guys, that little cold crack on the floor, that little spot I just showed you on the rear wall, that's as bad as this one gets. There is nothing big, nasty, and scary going around on this one. That is a flip-up bunk, by the way. We got our convertible J-cubes down below. If you want to flip that into like a single bed, double bed, a lounge, a sofa, a rainy day battle fort, you could do a little bit of whatever you wanted with it. Now over here, this is kind of interesting. You see some TV hookups. There is a flip-up-down little desk table station right here. So if you wanted to convert this into something of like a rainy day entertainment space for the kiddos, you could. Now what's interesting is this storage space right here. If we start down below, you see dual dresser drawers. On the way up though, you might notice how it actually does pass all the way through to the living room. So it could be kiddo space, it could be bunk room storage, it could be kitchen storage, it could be a little bit of whatever you want. Not to mention the fact that next to that pantry we have this whole dedicated chunk of storage. I like the simulated raised panel doors. I kind of forgot about those. It's been a few years. Taller ceiling means taller shower. And they were using the larger Max Breeze fan system when this J-Flight was built. But the skylight, the shower surround paneling, and the taller ceiling are all things that I appreciate as a taller person when I go camping. It also has pretty decent legroom for a bigger person like me. And the bathroom's a little bit simple, but, I mean, what else do you need it to do? You come in here to do your business and take a shower? It does those things very well. Now, the sofa over here in the G2 series was also upgraded from just a jackknife to a full hide-a-bed. And back during this time period, it was a like inner spring style pull-out hide-a-bed. But with a dedicated bunk room, I would be surprised if you're using that a whole lot. I guess it really just depends on how many people you're going to try to squeeze in here. So we've already really, you know, seen all the kitchen space all opened up. That, by the way, under the entertainment center, that is a handy little like coat closet available right when you walk in the door. And if you got long arms and you're tall like me, you can actually reach inside without climbing into the RV and grab your jacket and hop back out. The entertainment that would have come with this way back when has been updated and upgraded. You can see they put a little swing arm mounted flat screen in here. We've got the DVD system down below. So somewhat up to date, but again, considering that all of that has been updated since the RV was first built, I think is pretty cool. Sliding privacy door here for the front master bed, which looks like the mattress has been replaced by a True Queen from probably the original Camp Queen when this was built. Full J-Flight didn't go True Queen standard until 2011, 12, something like that. That's stuff that'll never be on Jeopardy, but that's the kind of stuff that I know from doing all these things all these years. Full pass-through below the beds. Really a good spot to be able to store your hitch when you reach your destination. You see, previous folks must not have used any of that, although they do have an anti-sway bar in there. I'm going to assume they used a little bit larger truck and not something like a half-ton to tow this. We're going to assume that. I don't know that for sure. Earlier you saw the power awning open. The motor and mechanically, it's in great shape. The material itself, I'll say, is okay. Now, it hasn't been neglected, but again, the RV's been used quite a bit. And over time, there was some stuff that must have fallen on the awning, and there were a couple little wear spots or you know, pinholes that peeked through. And they went through and, you know, seal taped and patched all that up. So, is it a brand new awning fabric? No. Is it still working? Yes. And remember, at the budget you're looking at here, I think that's pretty good. Let me get up front here. I walked around a giant hole in the yard. Power tongue jack and the propane tank, something must have cracked it, and they kind of similarly seal taped that up. And again, on the G2 series of J-Flights in this year, that is where you found the heated enclosed underbelly that was not found on the rest of the Jayco J-Flight series. And I'm not 100% certain, but I think we might have originally sold this RV when it was brand new. We'd be the Jayco dealer in the area when this was first sold, and it looks like it was primarily park used somewhat locally, so that would all make sense. I'm just guessing though, and none of it necessarily matters. Apologies for the noise, by the way. We're cutting up the competition. No, actually, we're doing a big full-scale facilities enhancement project here down at Advantage One. Our consignment program has been immensely popular, and basically we're putting up service bays, we're putting up a whole new sales center, and we'll be expanding our offerings here greatly. So we can get you more things like this awesome little J-Flight right here. And I tell you, overall, they kept the exterior pretty clean. I'm happy with what I see down here. All right, so what I'm seeing up here on the roof is it has been taken care of periodically, probably like once a season. The seals appear to be okay right now, but based on what I'm seeing, I would say it would probably not be a bad idea to have probably a basic like full peel and seal done on this thing, definitely within a year's time. There's some of them that are okay, there's some of them that are a little suspect to me. So that's the fair shake at that one right there. I don't want to, I'm not just going to gloss over it and not tell you about it. I want you folks to know what you're getting into, kind of like that little minor spot of nothing in the rear wall on the bunk room. It's a bummer that it's there, but it's also not that big of a deal. It's not really hurting anything. These seals and everything are fine right now, but you definitely don't want to just ignore them. And if you're a first-time RVer, which a lot of first-time RVers will look at something like this on a budget, I don't want you to buy this and not know how to take care of it, or not at least have a clue what it might need, and get yourself into a real bad pinch. I'd rather tell you up front. If you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button, follow along. We pick up little pro tips as we go through these RV tours. And you never know what we might get in the next day, like that one right over there landing as I was working on this one. So give us a call. We do it all. Hitching, pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything in between. Take care, stay safe, have fun. Happy camping, everyone. Sorry again about the noise.